prop shaft, center prop shaft on that Toyota Rav4 right here. So today we're gonna be changing the old one to this brand new one. Let's go. Alright guys, finally we got this prop shaft came in. It's here. This is for the Toyota Rav4. We got a clunking sound. Let's go check it out. Alright guys, so I took out 3 bolts already back there. There's 1 more left. There's that sound right there, the U-joint. And we're gonna be taking out this center support bearing bracket right here. One is out already. I'm gonna be taking out that last one. And then up on the front, it's gonna be just a slip yoke. There's nothing to bolt down there, so when everything is out back here, we're just gonna slide this whole drive shaft out going to the back. Alright, so we're just gonna take out 1 more left here. I just use 14 mil box end wrench right here to go on the back. Yeah, this is a nut. It's at the back right here. That nut will come out. Take out these bolts. The bolts was same thing, 14 mil socket with the flex joint on it. Okay, it goes like that, and then we're gonna use about 2-inch extension with the impact gun. Alright guys, so the bolts, all 4 bolts back there is gone. Those are good. So now we'll be taking out the one on the center support bearing right here. Took one out already. Let's do this one as well. This is a 14 mil. Make sure spray some penetrating fluid on each of those bolts, especially at the back. So I just use a breaker bar to crack this open. Okay, they're like kind of loose now, but we're just gonna zip it up with the impact to get the job done quicker. Alright, so that's super loose. Support the center, and let's start working at the back. Alright guys, so I just used a pry bar here, pry this out from this side here, rest it on the brackets, and I'm just gonna pry it towards the front, and then that whole thing will come out just like that. Now it's time to put your jack stand so it will support this instead of hitting it on your head. Alright, here we go. Almost there. Alright, we're gonna slide this shaft at the back. You're gonna have a little bit of fluid leaking out back up on the front there. We're just gonna pull this whole thing out. Straight, make sure it's straight. There you go. Nice. Just quickly compare it to the new one. Make sure it's the right one. There you go. It's a little different because this is the aftermarket, different brand compared to the OE Toyota. Yeah, it looks same to me. This is the slip yoke because it just slide right in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in there before we install, and then same thing. Those 4 bolts and nuts over there, we'll put a anti-seize. Same thing on the bracket right here. Alright, let's put the new one in. Alright guys, there we go. We're gonna put this new drive shaft now. So make sure to put an anti-seize on the end of that yoke up there. We're gonna slide this end of the drive shaft. Put a jack stand so that it will support. It will go nice and straight on that hole. Alright, slide it in all the way to the front. Okay. Alright, so that looks good. All the way in. Here's the center support bearing right here. we'll bolt that down, and then we're gonna be working at the back after. All right, so I just used a wire brush, clean all this here. Same thing on the other side, so that there's no bumps or no rust on this side of here when we install this bracket. Okay, and then we'll put a blue Loctite on this, and we'll install it. Make sure to clean all your threads on this bolt. We're gonna reuse the old one. All right, there you go. Got the blue Loctite, and then here's the other one. Alright, we're just gonna leave it like that for now. Don't wanna tighten this up first. We're just gonna leave it loose and hang like that because we're gonna be working on the back first, and then we'll come back on the middle. Alright guys, so make sure clean this flange right here, this plate. Wire brush it, you know, make sure it's nice and smooth so that we could put this brand new drive shaft in. So there's a flange on the middle that goes into the ring right here. So make sure that's nice and square off so that we could bolt it down, and make sure all the holes for the bolt line up. And then we're gonna put the original bolt. All right, so here's the original nuts and bolts. We're gonna put a blue Loctite on this, all the bolts. And then we're gonna install this to the drive shaft, and then all the bolts and nuts are gonna get they're gonna get torqued to spec. All right, guys, we're gonna snug her up. 14 mil socket and an impact, and then a combination wrench on the back for the nut. All right, we're gonna put a flex joint here. We're gonna rotate this thing, and then let's go to the other side. Alright, that looks good to me. Alright, we're gonna snug this two up, and then we're gonna torque them to spec when we've done everything. Alright, so just double check your work. Make sure it's nice and flush. It's not crooked or anything. Alright, so it looks good to me. Let's torque this to spec. Alright guys, so here's a diagram right here. This is just like if you removing and installing back the original prop shaft on that vehicle, but we're not doing that. We're putting a brand new one. Here's the torque spec on those 4 bolts, washer and nut on the rear U-joint area there on the rear diff. So 54 foot-pounds on that. This one right here is the hexagon wrench. This is for the center support bearing right there. There's like 6 of them. So if you're curious about that, that's a 20 foot-pounds of torque to spec. And then the center support bearing, those 2 nuts for the bracket, that 2 nut is 27 foot-pounds. Okay, there's a measurement here. After install, make sure you're on spec. Right there. Don't need all that. So by the look of it here, the 4 nuts, 54 foot-pounds at the back, and then the center support bearing is 27. All right, let's go underneath. There we go, 54 foot-pounds. Let's go. All 4 bolts torque to spec. This side is done. Double check, make sure it's all nice and even, not crooked or anything. That looks good to me. Let's go to the middle. Alright, so this is gonna be a 14 mil socket again. We're gonna bottom it out all the way in, and we're gonna torque this to spec. Alright, so this one here is 27 foot-pounds. There you go. There you go. That's done. Double check your work. Make sure it's nice and flat right here. And then up on the front, make sure it's nice and flush. It's all done, boys. All done. Torque to spec. Now we're gonna do is go for a test drive. Let's go. Alright guys, we're out for a drive. Keep on driving here and just do a little bit of a test drive on the drive shop as well. Alright, so this vehicle got really bad exhaust leak. I told the guy that needs to fix that leak. It's really loud. I don't know if you can hear it. And there's some humming sounds on this tire. There's really bad humming. Got the windows down. Let you guys hear it. Look at that. Wow. So we're just gonna go back to the garage and then we're gonna call the guy that it's done. I think he said to me that he wants to change the driver door on this because it's rusted out. So I'm gonna let him know that if he got his door picked up already, he's gonna get a used one from the auto wrecking, pick and pull. This thing is like 04 and it's not worth it of spending more money. So he's gonna get a used door, same color, same match, and then we're gonna install it on this vehicle. That's one problem. And then second problem is exhaust leak on this. And couple things after that, front and rear shocks. And he don't want to spend any more money, but I'm gonna just mention it to him that he needs front and rear struts and shocks on this. It is a kid's vehicle, so it's just a winter beater vehicle. Winter is coming up here soon, and he just needs something for his kid to go to school and home, stuff like that. So that's it. Let's go back to the garage and I'm gonna wrap this up. So make sure to subscribe, like the video, like always. See you guys again on the next one.